Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's a special day because it's a birthday. You all know who it is, and that's why I guess you're here. My brother and I are thrilled to be here. This is Dilmah. I'm Dilhan, and
I'm Malik.
great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, we have a very special guest who's online. Now, he's coming on right now. It's a delicate situation because for the second year running, my father is in isolation. And so we thought we'll come together because 91st birthday and 71 years in tea, that's really something to celebrate. And so we really thank you that you've come on. Now, what we promised in the last sessions of the School of Tea is that you can ask him anything. So send your questions through on the Q&A, and we will try to answer them. I can't promise we can answer all of them. We have a few that have come in, and thank you. There's a few coming in right now, but we will do our very best. Whatever we don't get to answer in this session, because we need to be mindful of time, we will answer in the School of Tea, or rather the Tea Club. So now I'm honored and thrilled to introduce my father, who has started his day with a traditional Sri Lankan ceremony. It is lighting a lamp, which we had to do with just a small group. And we lit a lamp because it symbolizes the illumination that a new day brings and that a new occasion. And in this occasion, it is illuminating because the 91st birthday is something very special. For my father, 71 years in tea, the world's most experienced tea maker. Here's my brother to introduce him.
I'm Malik, the Ma in Dilmah. It's a bit sad, really, for my father that his second successive birthday in isolation. He can't be with us here today, so he's piping in from home. The next birthday will be done in grand style with many of you. We'll have a physically present party. The advantage of him being in isolation is that we have a beautiful birthday cake over there, which my brother and I are going to polish off entirely without any help from him. So let's make the most of it. And as my brother said, my father is raring to go to answer any question you might have. So welcome to the Global Tea Party.
So only one request: charge your tea mugs or tea cups as we have. So now we have my father online, and I'm going to ask him to say a few words. Tati, please say a few words. Now, for those who are not from Sri Lanka, Tati is how we talk about my father.
Father, it means father.
It means father. So, as you probably guessed. So, Tati, please
Yes.
say to your global audience of
I
brothers.
love the opportunity to say hello and thank you to all my friends around the world. My two sons have arranged this event without my knowledge, and they surprised me. It was a very pleasant surprise. And I'm delighted to be here and watch all of you. Thank you, Dilhan. Thank you, Malik.
So we have a few questions for the world's most experienced tea maker. The first one, it's actually from someone very interesting. It's from Sofia Pastene, but also the very similar question comes from Winand. So Sofia is asking us, what advice would you give to teenagers who want to make a change in their society like you did with Dilmah and all its related foundations? So what Winand adds, you are very wise and experienced. What advice would you give your grandchildren, and how is this advice reflected in the success of Dilmah? So simply, what advice would you give to young people about how they could make an impact as you have done?
The world today is very different from the time it was when I started life. So my advice to starters, to beginners, is to make a commitment that they can do a certain business or certain project and then concentrate on it 100%. You will get knocked and thrown about, but keep going and you will ultimately meet with success. I have got more than a few knocks. So I can now talk to you. And when I tell you, I got knocks, I was supply. The others are giants. So the every knock hurt me, but I stand here today to say all that can be overcome with commitment and hard work.
Thank you. So we have a few questions, and I'm going to have a look at them. So we have actually a statement from John, all the way from New Zealand. What tea are you drinking on your birthday? Now I can tell you, actually I can answer that for you. We have presented today the 4 teas that my father defined many years ago, 2003. They represent the essence of Ceylon. 4 distinctively different terroirs: Ranwatta, Udavatta, Madavatta, Yatavatta. So before going on, I'm going to ask the person who defined these, who created these, to tell you more. Tati, tell us a little bit about Vatta, please.
Somebody gave me a book about wine and tea. I read it and said, well, I didn't know much about wine, but I knew a little bit about tea. So I regularly visit New Zealand, and on a particular visit, I stayed with the vineyard belonging to my good friend, late Smith. And when I was talking to him about tea and wine, he gave me a book about wine. I came back and read it, that the synergies between wine and tea are identical until wine is served in a glass, it intoxicates you. Tea is served in a cup, it heals you. So I thought, right, I must write up a story. And I started tasting the tea or the terroir of our elevations from sea level up to 6,200 feet. You know, the taste, character, the terroir of the tea changes almost every 2,000 feet as you go up. So I compared 4 teas I discovered or I evolved by saying Yatavatta. Yatavatta is slow. Basically, the group is Vatta teas. Vatta is garden teas. Low grown is Yatta. I compared that tea to a Cabernet Sauvignon, very cutting strong. So then you go up to about 3,000 feet, you get mid-country tea. Mid in single language is Mother. So I called it Madhavatta. You will see it's slightly softer below Madhavatta, not different to Cabernet Shiraz. So I called it the style of Cabernet. Then I went up to 5,000 feet. There the view was delightful. Love, break. I call that Buddha. Buddha is high. So Buddha in singular is high, and therefore I called it Pinot Noir. And that was a delightful tea. I went higher up to Norelia, which is about 6,000 feet. And I call that Ranvatta is gold, and it's Norelia tea. And Ranvatta, and I call it champagne of teas. Then I realized that I could not use the word champagne, so I called it a Chardonnay. So these 4 teas describe the actual terroir of Sri Lankan tea country. And we are discovering amazing things and doing innovations of tea, which were unknown in the hands of traders. We are farmers bringing our own tea. So we make these innovations, discoveries for everybody's benefit, and of course for our competitors too. That's the story of my Vatta series.
Good. So picking a couple more questions, there is a non-question from Stefan Erikström that goes as follows. No question. More happy birthday. So thank you for that, Stefan.
Thank you, Stefan.
My father would love that, although he loves to answer questions as well. Then we have a question from Siraj Abdul Hamid. Happy birthday, Mr. Dilmah. What are your pet names for your sons?
Oh, please. Depends whether he's in a good mood or a bad mood.
Not the rude ones, not the rude ones, the polite ones.
Malik is Bendo, and he is trying to pass that on to me. He's Bendo, because when he was a little boy, about 4 or 5 years of age, someone asked, "Hey, what is your name?" He had no problem saying Malik, but Fernando was tough for him. So he called that Malik Bendo. So we started calling him Bendo. Now he tries to pass that Bendo on to me. That will not work. Ilhan, I used to call him, when he was small, he was a fat. And then when he was put in school, he came back very, very thin. So when he was, before he went to school, when he had the big fat stomach, I call him Bandia, that means fatty. Then when he came back from school, his nanny said, "My God, what has happened to him? Don't send him back to the school because they have not given him to eat." I said, "No, not eating, but throat eating. So don't call him." So now I call him Dilly. That's short for Dilhan.
I don't know why he was
Bendo,
paying. Yeah,
Dilly.
why he was. Sorry, I don't know why my father was paying school fees, because they just didn't feed us at that school.
That's what boarding schools are about. But thank you. So he did the polite version. Wendy Bartlett, all the way from the UK. Wendy, wonderful to hear from you. So Tati, question from Wendy, whom you remember we've seen welcomed in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Wendy, what country or society would you most like to appreciate tea? What country, society would you most like to appreciate tea?
That difficult one. But it used to be England, but no more. England is a cheap tea now. I would call it, well, a country like New Zealand, small country, but they have ideas, they value the proper tea qualities. I would select it to be New Zealand. I don't want to upset all my other customers that they are as good.
So we have an interesting question from Tati, one of our oldest colleagues, Thomas Witomski. Thomas and Yulita, I guess, somewhere there.
Yes.
So what, in your opinion, are the main factors that make all Dilmah teas so delicious? I think from my perspective, I can tell you, Thomas, it's love. But from my father's perspective, I think it'll be similar.
Super question.
Love and care. For every cup of tea, from the ground right up to the cup, also Dilmah. We are exceptional. We are farmers bringing our crop to the market, to your table. All others in the tea business are traders who buy cheap and sell at a high price. My commitment was not to be a tea trader. I started as a trader, but then I invested in plantations, all the plant machinery, all the huge investment of tea, brokering, marketing, then branding and marketing. So I have from the ground to the cup that I enjoy. And that's my love and commitment to tea. I've invested a lot of money, but that's my love and thanks. The results are great, and you are enjoying the best cup of tea you could find anywhere in the world. And our results, profits, we care and share. That's the greatest philosophy. So, Mr. Witomski, you can't think of a better cup of tea than this.
That's a special friendship. You know, my father first got to know Thomas's father, who has passed sadly, but father and mother, and Janusz and Sofia, and now the second generation. And now we have passed on, also continuing the relationship to the third generation. So that's something about family business.
Thomas's parents or his father was the consul in Sri Lanka in the diplomatic corps in the early 70s. So he's got a long connection with Sri Lanka. Picking a couple more questions, we've got one from Suresh Ratnasinghe. Happy birthday, Mr. Fernando. We are proud of you. We all are. Kindly tell us how you would sustain the amazing developments done to the cup of Sri Lanka tea. I assume you mean the developments that Dilmah has done, that my father has done. How do you sustain that going forward? Tati, would you like to answer that?
Well, I had a hard time facing all sorts of problems, but somehow I made it. My second generation is improving on what I perfected. Its innovations are startling. I can't. Dilmah specializes in that. The teas he produces. I said, where do you get this from? He said, from our tea room. Then I go and taste that, check. I said, yes, that's a good one. So I am quite comfortable that while Dilmah develops the tea industry, tea marketing and branding, his brother Malik started a new thing, also not different to tea. It's 100% natural and nature to Sri Lanka. He has developed an amazing tourist business and has developed 3 of the best hotels, luxury villas in Sri Lanka. So both of them do innovations that I could only dream of. So I have every confidence that in the next generation, I have passed on to the second generation now. When the third generation comes in, they will be selling and marketing a completely different variety of Dilmah teas. Consumers will say, my God, what happened to my old cup of tea, English breakfast, and Earl Grey? So that's all the world of tea knew all these years. When Dilmah came in, I introduced flavored teas, specialty teas, all sorts of things, new things, which kept people wondering what the hell is this man going to do? But what he did, consumers tried. I always say, do try it, and they tried it.
Good. Thank you, Tati. So we have another question. There's an interesting one from Shamil Surf, all the way from Cape Town. I love Cape Town. We did a lovely family holiday about 10 years ago, driving all through South Africa. Wonderful memories. So Shamil is saying, happy birthday, Mr. Fernando. What is your all-time favorite tea?
I like a strong cup of tea in the morning, that is Dilmah extra strength. That's instead of English breakfast, all the fancy, that's real gutty, strong tea. Later on in the evening, I drink Ranvatta if it is available in the market. Otherwise, I drink Dilmah Norelia green tea. It comes out of this world.
So we have, actually this is more of an observation, and Bernd, I will deal with you on this. Chef Bernd Uber, black hat chef, all the way from Australia. He says, now, as this is a party, I'm enjoying my G&T, gin and tonic, in a Dilmah glass at the moment. Bernd, you know that's not acceptable, but I will talk to you later. He is the presiding judge of the Dilmah Real High Tea Challenge, so I'm limited in my options there. But thank you, Bernd. Thank you for your wonderful comment. There's a nice comment or nice question also from Erandi. If you had one thing to say to your younger self, what would it be?
Love everybody, and be kind to everyone you meet.
I think that's short, sweet, and incredibly perfect in answering that. So we have Jose. Hey, Jose. Nice to hear from you. I hope you're keeping well. Jose Matos, who's saying, Mr. Merrill, if you have known how successful Dilmah would become, would you have started your business 10 years earlier? My father is remarkable in that he started his business at the age of 58. Neither of us are there yet. So you can see how we feel so inspired by what he achieved in a very different time. But also, I think it was the circumstances. But I'm going to let him answer your question, Jose. Thank you for that.
For most people, creating a brand of tea would have remained a dream. I also thought so in the first 3 or 4 years. However, I kept trying, and I could not have started any sooner because the opposition was so strong. And the opposition came not only from my competing brands in various countries, but from my own country, our own tea traders. Why? Our tea traders are not farmers. They only buy it at the cheapest source and sell it at the highest price. Like most other traders, multinational or small traders. So I had to fight enormous enmity, anger. When I say that my local traders and even some government officials unaware of the fact told me, Merrill, you are going on a dangerous path. Now, if we market the finished product and go direct to customers, these people will stop buying bulk tea from us, all the other countries. I told them they have already reduced their bulk tea purchases about 60-70% from Sri Lanka and gone to cheaper sources, blended with Ceylon tea and marketed it as Ceylon tea. So unless we have a real Ceylon tea, single origin, guaranteed, pure Ceylon tea, which carries the freshness, quality, and purpose behind it, we would be lost. Our prices will crash. So they said, okay, we will give you incentives also, and supported me. It took me 34 long years for that dream to become reality. That's not too late, but most others may have given up meanwhile. I did try to give up, but some force kept driving me. And I am thankful to that force for the inspiration I received. And now I realize from what I have achieved significantly that it was Almighty God who kept driving me, and I thank Him.
Good. We have a question now from Tim Holmes. What would be your favorite snack to have with your cup of tea?
Peanut butter sandwich, and sometimes with a long asparagus sandwich.
Yes. And some cake, no doubt.
Oh yes, there's one here staring at my face.
We're just about to cut it. Then we have a question from our dear friend Ravi K. Ravindran. You give away a great part of your earnings to charity. What makes you do that?
I came from a humble family. My parents taught me humility and to care for our neighbor, and share with the poor. I had nothing to share. So, however, when I was 32 years of age, I started my own business, and the profit started coming. 3-4 times my needs. So I had to decide at that stage what every successful entrepreneur has to decide. I had to say, well, I need, say, $100,000 a quarter to live. I am only 500 now. What do I do? So the temptation was to live lavishly and buy luxurious things. But my mother's advice came to my mind at that time. So I decided to take the humble path and share my extra profits with the poor and the needy and help my neighbor in many ways. So that was where I started in Ravi, and that decision was so powerful that I got more and more money, and more money went to the poor until I established my MJF Charitable Foundation. That foundation has changed the world of tea business and business. That foundation has done amazing benefits to the poor and needy. I contributed maybe a third of my share at the beginning. Until September 2019, every company in the NGF group had to contribute 10% of its profits to the NGF Charitable Foundation. And from October 1st, 2019, I increased that to 15%, which is a substantial income to the foundation. I did that because the more I gave away to the poor, the more profits I received. So I thought, well, I must appreciate that blessings from God and increase my contribution. And it is mandatory that each company in the group has to pay that. Articles of association of each company have been changed to accommodate that request, that wish of mine. And that does some truly amazing things. For example, some of my employees' children, they get not some. When I had only 18 staff, I gave them lavishly their children clothes, books, shoes, everything they needed, and scholarship to the brightest students. Having only 18 staff, I said I can be lavish. And I didn't think I would ever have more than 25, 30 staff. Today, I have over 1,400 staff at the Dilmah tea factory and about 15,000 staff in our tea plantations. Every one of those children gets this benefit. There are doctors, lawyers, architects among children of plantation tea pickers who would otherwise be destined to become the next generation and the next generation and the next generation of tea pickers. So the foundation, which receives all its funds from you, from my customers and distributors, does a lot of work to make this world happier for others. And part of that blessing comes back to you. All the blessings I get for the charity I do are shared with all my customers, friends, and well-wishers.
One important thing I want to add to what my father shared is the principle of the foundation is to use the earnings that are shared by Dilmah, Resplendent Ceylon, Forbes, and so on, the group that my father initiated, pioneered. All of those funds are disbursed on a very important principle of empowerment with dignity. So you're not going to see huge communications around saying what a great job we do, but we are going to see impact on the lives of people who are less fortunate, but also on the environment, all focusing on positive impact. And now, my brother.
We have a question from Japan,
Oh,
from Makoto-san. Many of you who've been to our conferences will remember his brilliant renditions of Madonna songs after a few drinks. So from Makoto, happy birthday, Mr. Fernando. The entire team and I sincerely celebrate your birthday with respect from Japan. Now our customers are all amazed to know that Dilmah has been contributing to sustainability long before SDGs. We are so proud of you and will keep on communicating your philosophy in Japan. It's not really a question, but a plaudit. Thank you, Makoto.
Thank you, Makoto. And we have one from Ulla from Sweden. Fantastic, from one end of the world to the other. Hey, Ulla, I hope you're well. Happy birthday from Sweden and Tekompaniet. Which one of your amazing MJF Foundation projects are closest to your heart? If at all possible, pick one. Hakan, Ulla, and the Tekompaniet team.
well, it is the closest to my heart, but saddest thing I ever watched was the cerebral palsy unit. Children are brought into real life and shown them love and care. So much so, when I visit there, the parents tell me, this child was at home just looking at the sky. Now he smiles and identifies colors, knows numbers, and thank you very much what you do. And I am very happy I'm able to make not only these children happy, but their parents as well.
We have a few more. We have an interesting comment. Well, thank you, Andrew Lee. Blessed 91st birthday boy. Thank you. Yeah, he is young. He is 91 years young. May you be abundantly blessed with good health and surrounded by your loved ones and friends around the world on this day. Enjoy your day. Thank you for that. Now, we have a comment from Peter, Chef Peter Kuruvita. Happy birthday, Mr. Fernando. Tell us where the term "do try it" came from.
Do try.
That came from New Zealand, from Darren Curtis, who really forced me to put my face on Dilmah and go on TV. I resisted it for about a year, but finally succumbed. And when he said the first TV commercial, when I finally, after months of persuasion, I agreed, we went to a friend's home, got a settee and a plant, and I said, that was my first commercial. In that we said, do try it. So people remarked and said, this man has an honest face and we must try it. And he says only to try it. He doesn't forcefully sell. He told us to try, and I tried it. So that's the equity on do try it is huge in Australia and New Zealand. And I want my next generation never to sell them.
Thank you. Thank you. So a couple of other questions from Janice. Janice says, does Dilmah have a founder's blend? Funny you should ask that, Janice, because right here are the 3 teas that we introduced for my father's 70th anniversary in tea and his 90th birthday. This was last year, and they are absolutely devoted to the founder. Now, these 4 wattas are what he designed, created many years ago, 2003, and these are the teas that we produce to celebrate the life and the achievements of the world's most experienced tea maker. So, Augustine, interesting comment from Augustine, who's been with us many years ago. He says, hi Malik and Dilhan, my wishes to Chairman from Shashanka from Oman. I used to share Chairman's ginger nuts in his office. That should be his favorite snack. Thank you very much, Shashanka. From Sue Saunders, God bless you. Thank you for all your hard work and for making the world a kinder place through your amazing tea. And then Bernd Tuber, I think Bernd has finished his GNT and he's now, thank you Bernd, he's now heading for dinner. And we have from Dora, no question, just a wish of health and blessings. Thank you, Dora. You're an example of leadership to us and the world. We raise a cup of tea together in your honor. Team USA, thank you for that, Dora. And we have Kathy Hannah. Kathy from Jordan. Mr. Merrill, wishing long and happy days to come, filled with happy memories. Which memory is the happiest when looking back in time?
Well, after years of struggling, the first retailer in Australia accepted Dilmah tea to G.G. Coles. That made my wild dream a reality. That was the happiest moment. And where Dilmah is now, that was the beginning, the real beginning.
An interesting question from Gautam, who's probably sitting somewhere around here. Happy birthday, Mr. Fernando. Have always been curious. If it wasn't the tea industry, where would we be seeing you? What would your vocation be?
I could have been a lawyer. I was hoping to become a lawyer to defend people who are accused falsely and appear for them free.
So now we have from Tamara Ketikyan. Tamara, forgive me if I haven't pronounced your name right. My name is Tamara. I want to wish happy birthday to Mr. Fernando on behalf of the whole team of company Sovrano from Armenia. Thank you, Sauce. Thank you, the whole team. Thought you might acknowledge your friends from Armenia and recall your time there.
Of course, thank you, my old friend. I remember the last visit. You came right inside, almost inside the plane to receive me. And we had a great time. We drank Armenian brandy, great food, beautiful places to see, nice churches. There was a piece of the Calvary cross in the church. And there's the first church in the world when God said, build my church here. We were there, Roshan and I. So it was, thank you very much. And I hope to visit you in the next year or two when things settle down. Meanwhile, my best wishes to you and your lovely staff. Thank you.
Hopefully things will improve so we can eventually make it out there. So otherwise, like one of our predecessors, we can probably make an arc and end up on Mount Ararat. I think there are...
It is there.
Yeah, well, that's what they say. It is there. So we have now from the wonderful Betty Costa, Queen of Cheese. Betty, hi, how are you? From all of us, thank you for joining. Betty says, Tati, dear Mr. Fernando, you look fantastic. Can you tell me what you think about flavored teas? Now, this is a loaded question, and Dilmah flavored teas are different. You know that, but Tati, it's all yours.
I introduced flavored tea in Russia, and it just flew off the shelves. I remember that Russian experience is unique. A lady, Zara, Madame, what Zara, Madame Zara, very pretty lady, got off a plane, came to our offices and said, Mr. Dilmah, I want to buy 25 containers of your fruit tea. I said, when do you want it? I said, I got the money in the bank. I want to take it now. So I laughed it off, and then she became a very good customer. But flavored teas we introduced we only introduced 6 flavors, and they were largely natural and preserved, didn't drown the taste of tea. The flavor complemented the taste and quality of tea. That meant only touched a little bit. And we maintained the taste and quality of tea so that you were drinking fruit tea, but not the fruit flavor drowning you. Then a big multinational came with about 30 flavors at nearly half my price. but they failed and Dilmah grew. So we always sell tea, not flavor. Flavor complements. So up to date, our flavor teas are the same character because in the case of Dilmah, what we start will go till the very end. We don't change, we don't compromise on taste or quality. That's my cardinal rule I have told all my children. You do not change anything of the formulas that I have laid down.
Great. We have, I think, time for a final question from Esther Monet Diaz. What's the best attitude we must possess to be a legend like you? Big heart. Happy birthday again,
Senor Merrill.
Senor Merrill. What is the attitude you must possess to be a legend like you? Pati?
I don't know what sort of legend I am, but if you do what you want seriously and wholeheartedly, then you rise in that. When you rise from your beginnings to different heights, you don't have to be a legend. You are a legend.
One more couple of comments. We're going to cut a cake now. So thank you for your patience, but I have to share a couple more comments. Uwe from Dubai. Great to hear from you. Thought you remember Uwe, the wonderful chef. Happy birthday,
Yes.
young man. All the very best. That's from Uwe Nikhil, the incredible chef from Emirates Culinary Guild, and from the same wishes from Kathy Hanna. Thank you again, Kathy. So also from Giro, all the best birthday wishes to Merrill, all the way from South Africa. Thank you, Giro.
And,
From Zofia in Hungary. Dear Mr. Fernando, wishing you wonderful birthday, good health, and a lot of beautiful years in the world of tea. Greetings from Hungary.
Thank you, Sophia.
I think also, well, Paul Hanna also, is tea attractive to the new generation? What can we do to bring more of them to the tea world? I have to get the cake, so I'm going to leave you with two questions. My brother's going to read them while I get the cake. I do this and this.
Can I interrupt you for a minute, please?
Yes.
Somebody asked about tea. Just ask Chinese about tea today. They'll tell you 4 cups of tea, 4 glasses of warm water is their diet to fight this disease. I don't say Dilmah, but most of the tea there is Dilmah.
Yeah. Best thing for your immunity. So 2 questions. Paul Hanna. Happy birthday, Mr. Fernando. Paul's question is tea attractive to the new generation? What can be done to bring more of the young generation into the world of tea?
Well, what we do, the innovations we do with Dilmah brings in new users all the time. Unfortunately, most other people, not most, all other people are traders. They have no commitment to tea. So therefore, they keep copying others or just doing the same thing over and over and over again. We bring innovations now. For example, our latest Dilmah Elixir is a fantastic iced tea. So all this, we tried it out maybe for about 5-6 years after so many trials. And then when we are in no hurry, we are right, we get the right product. And therefore, and that appeals to the younger people. We are getting most of the, say when I started in tea, our customers were 35-year-olds and older. Now, and more younger people came to the fold. Now we have not only just black tea and green tea. We have herbal infusions, so many varieties. Just look at, we have about 400-500 different types of teas. And what a choice. That's what the young people want. And they now realize the health benefits in tea, has been unquestionably proven that tea is the best natural herb in the world.
Just a few final comments before we get to the all-important cake. The irrepressible Burnt, who I think is now on his second or third gin and tonic, love how the man talks about the second and third generation Dilmah. Great comment, Burnt. We have an interesting question from Spencer, who's somewhere around here. Mr. Fernando, how does it feel to be in one industry for 71 long years?
That's not an industry. It's my love for the world's finest natural beverage and my commitment to do good for the customer and for my country's economy. I have a total commitment. I'm battling many others and raising tea and the country's image. Then you can last another 70 years.
We have a comment from Ioannis Klapas. Hi, Ioannis.
Hey, Ioannis. Nice to see you or hear from you.
Heartfelt wishes on your 91st birthday. What has always amazed me is the unstoppable drive and energy, don't we know it, my brother and I, that you have always had. Please share your secret, hint, hint.
Well, I always rely on my several cups of tea to give me the energy. When the energy is drying out, I have another cup. And that keeps me active. And also one must remember that those who do good and make others happy get divine blessings.
We have a question from Saranya, I think, who's somewhere here. I would like to know, who was your role model?
My role model today is Nelson Mandela, great humble man.
Wonderful. So many comments, so many questions. I'm sorry we couldn't get to all of them because we've gone way over time. But I should say this one, because another person whom we have been working with since the 90s, like the Klapas family, I think from 91, I think, Ioannis, but Sigitas, also second generation. Happy birthday, dear Merrill. You have great sons. Sigi?
Spot on.
Fantastic.
Spot on.
I love that comment. What parenting advice, oh my goodness, this is trouble. What parenting advice would you give to other parents from Edmundas and Sigitas from Lithuania?
Oh, Edmundas and Sigitas, I remember that long trip through to Lithuania, to Estonia and back. I'll never forget that trip. Not only that, we finished about 5 bottles, was it rum or vodka, and had a great trip. And we went fishing and didn't catch a thing. We went again, then the fish had said, we waited for you all this time and we are leaving, according to Edmundas. So I remember that very well. And one of these years, we'll come again and catch some fish there. Edmundas, you are a great man. You are a lovely person. And I have not seen you for a long time. Sigitas is almost part of the Dilmah family. Wherever we go, at every fair, he comes and helps us a lot. One advice, the only advice I give a parent or parents today is, in raising children, just tell them morning and evening, do it my way.
I can tell you that is absolute fact. That is what he's been saying, but also teaching us about integrity. Do it my way, but do it the right way, which is just as important, which has been a blessing on us. I can't also move on to the cake cutting without mentioning another partner who's been with us for many years, Early from Indonesia, saying happy from PT David Roy, Indonesia and team, greeting, happiest birthday to our beloved Mr. Dilmah. Have a wonderful, blessed day from Early, David and Leah. Thank you so much. I'm sorry there are so many questions that we couldn't answer and so many comments. Thank you for that, from the Philippines, from Russia, from Mr. Fad Malik, from so many. My apologies, but we have to move on. Now, any questions that remain, we'll have it answered on the Dilmah Tea Club on Facebook. So, Tati, are you ready to cut the cake?
Yeah, how I love this opportunity to talk to you and answer your questions. We should do this more often, as long as there are travel restrictions. Except we can't share the cake, but next time we'll have a lovely to see you, lovely to talk to you, and may God bless you. And we'll.
You're not off the hook yet. Not yet.
Really?
Not yet. So we're going to cross to the foundation and Dilmah Conservation, and we can't have everyone on, because with the foundation we have 13 centers around the country, but we have representatives of the foundation. We have to be distanced and we have to be cautious. So foundation and conservation is coming on to wish the birthday boy. So we were joined from across Sri Lanka, all the way across in the east, in the MJF Center East. And that was the team from MJF Center East, and also the team from Dilmah Conservation. And now I would like to ask you all to join us in raising a cup and wishing a happy birthday to my father. Yeah. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Dilmah.
91
birthday. Grand years. Lots of love.
Mr. Bando, for you.
Mr. Bando.
Yes.
And so now, Tati, I think you may cut your cake. So to everyone, thank you. We had guests from Russia, from Sweden. We had guests from Japan, from Australia, New Zealand, around the world, and of course from Sri Lanka. Thank you everyone for joining us. We will respond to balanced questions and comments on the Tea Club.
And next year's birthday will be a real one, physically present with all of you, dearest and closest friends of Dilmah.
And the final word to the birthday boy. Tati, would you like to say something to our amazing guests?
Thank you very much for spending your time with me and the family. In absence, in my inability to have a party for all of us, all of you, I say thank you, thank you. I will never forget this. It meant so much to me. Last year we couldn't do anything at all. Right? When I say thank you, really mean thank you. God.
Thank you very much. And from my brother and I, do try it.
Do try it and keep safe and well. We'll see you soon in the flesh.
Stay safe. Bye-bye.